Are you ready to go to the extreme? Well, you better be, because I'm Revolutionary Cowboy, and this is my WWE Extreme Rules review. Now, this pay-per-view, I'd say it was pretty decent. There was maybe parts of the pay-per-view that was predictable, and others that maybe caught me by surprise. And I'm gonna say I did pretty good on my predictions. And if you missed my predictions video, well, I'll put something up in the corner, but you don't really have to go back and watch it unless you want to. But I will mention my predictions in this video. And like I said, I think I did pretty well on my predictions. You know, obviously I'm not going to get every prediction right. And one match I kind of figured was going to be taken off the card, and that was the Intercontinental Championship match between Daniel Bryan and Bad News Barrett. And since, you know, this has been something plaguing Daniel Bryan since last year, when his neck injury caused him to vacate the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And it's sad that once again we're having this issue with Daniel Bryan, and he was unable to be at the pay-per-view. And I think we all kind of maybe figured that. I mean, this is going to be, well, this is kind of sad to say, but I think Daniel Bryan's time as a WWE superstar is, and maybe just as a pro wrestler in general, might be coming to an end. And you know what? Maybe it's just time for him to kind of, you know, take notice of what Edge did, you know, 4 years ago when Edge had to retire because of his neck injury. And, you know, and Edge, you know, wrestled for many years after his neck injury, but maybe Daniel Bryan just seems more severe. I mean, I don't know. I just know that, once again, it's a big factor keeping Daniel Bryan from wrestling at Extreme Rules. I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot of the guy. And so, unfortunately, due to that, since that match had to be scrapped, they did decide to move up the original pre-show match, which was Cesaro and Tyson Kidd defending the WWE Tag Team Championship against New Day. Well, that was moved on to the main card. And, well, since we needed a pre-show match, and Bad News Barrett didn't have an opponent, they decided to have him go against Neville, which was actually a pretty good match. I mean, any match that Neville's in is very good. He has impressed me since, you know, his days in NXT, and then ever since they've had him moved up to the main roster. Guy does, you know, phenomenal matches. That guy, I mean, and I've said before in my talk show, my podcast style show, RHC Talks, that Neville can fly. His finishing move, the Red Arrow, which is, man, it is like an awesome move. He did that. And, well, I guess this kind of counts as one of my predictions in a way. I guess kind of counts as me getting it wrong, but not really, since this match was made at the last moment. I did predict that Bad News Barrett was going to defeat Daniel Bryan and become the Intercontinental Champion. Well, unfortunately, he lost to Neville, which doesn't really bother me because I like Neville, but I like Bad News Barrett too. So I guess I was wrong about Bad News Barrett winning, but since this match was made at the last moment and didn't involve who it was going to originally involve, well, I guess I don't really technically count this as part of my predictions, but I'll count it as a loss. Whatever, I can take it. Okay, so now we get to the main show itself. We had the Chicago Street Fight between Luke Harper and Dean Ambrose, which was actually a very good match, which I expected it was going to be a great match, and I thought it was going to be probably the best match on the card. Now, of course, this match gets a little interesting. After they fought in the ring for a while, Dean Ambrose wails on, you know, Luke Harper anything he can, you know, hits him with kendo sticks, you know, chairs, even throws like a pipe at him backstage. Luke Harper's like, well, I'm gonna get out of here. So he jumps into like I think a Suburban or a Yukon. I don't remember what vehicle it was. Might have been an Escalade. I don't remember. Dean Ambrose tries to stop Luke Harper, but is unsuccessful. So as Harper shuts the door, you know, because he goes in the passenger side, Dean Ambrose does jump in, but it's only through the window, since I guess the window is down. So he kind of jumps in and almost Dukes of Hazzard style in a way. And, well, unfortunately, Luke Harper starts the vehicle up. They drive out of the arena, and now, well, that match at the moment looks like it had ended. But technically, since there was no pinfall or submission, I guess technically the match is still going, and it can go anywhere since it's a street fight. But the only thing that sucks about it, well, they didn't really follow up with the match until much later, because it would have been cool to maybe see them go to Walmart or Toys R Us or some other place and maybe see them find the toy aisle. I mentioned that on my own Facebook, my personal Facebook account. I mentioned that. You know, see, that would have been funny. Maybe see him grab like a Luke Harper figure and smack him over the head. You know, Ambrose would smack Harper over the head with it, and then maybe he'd grab like an Ambrose figure, pose with it for a moment and then still beat him over the head. But that would have been cool. Too bad it didn't happen. But hey, a guy can dream, right? And of course we see Kane and Triple H backstage. Triple H isn't too happy that Ambrose and Harper have left the arena, so I guess tells Kane to keep tabs on where they are at, and we don't really find out much more until later anyway. So the next match was the Kiss Me Arse match between Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler. Still one of the dumbest matches ever. May not the dumbest, but still just, it was a little stupid. Now, I am happy that I did get this prediction right. But, unfortunately, not the turnout I wanted. I don't think any of us wanted. As Sheamus did not want to kiss Dolph Ziggler's ass. Or arse. Whatever. And even a few times, Ziggler pulls his tights down. And even times he even pulls his tights up, so he's got to give himself a wedgie. But I wanted to get Ziggler to kiss his ass. Sheamus to kiss his ass. Sheamus didn't want to do it. Eventually he does. Gets down on his knees, but ends up low blowing Ziggler. And Larry gives Ziggler the bro kick. And then unfortunately, despite the fact that Ziggler is unconscious, Sheamus pulls down his trunks and makes Ziggler kiss his ass. So, I got one prediction right, but it didn't end the way I would have wanted. Whatever, at least win-wise I got that right. So whatever, we'll still say that I'm technically 1-0, not including the fact that the Ambrose Harper match hadn't ended yet. And my, other match, that technically wasn't really planned, but, it still ended in a loss, so whatever. I guess I'm 1-1 if you want to be technical. Of course, the next match, which originally was the pre-show match, was going to be, New Day taking on Kid and Cesaro for the WWE Tag Team Championship, and that one was a pretty good match, too. Obviously, for me, I think Cesaro was definitely the best one in the match, the most athletic. Everything from his uppercuts to his swing. I mean, he did a great job in that match. And Tyson Kidd did pretty decent. Now, it didn't really go the way I wanted it to. I had originally predicted that Cesaro and Kidd were going to retain. Well, they didn't, and that actually did surprise me, that New Day won. I mean, wow. That's just insane. But whatever, I guess. I don't know if this was maybe going to be a part of their the face push for Kid and Cesaro, but still, I guess whatever. I guess maybe the big New Day heels to put the belt on them now. Alright, so I'm going to try to keep up with my predictions. Of course, like I said, we were going to see Harper and Ambrose again later on the night, and we did. So after Renee Young decides to or was it Renee Young? I can't remember. But anyways, after they get interviewed by Renee Young, here comes the Suburban or Escalade, whatever it was that Harper and Ambrose had taken off in. Well, looks like Dean Ambrose was driving for the rest of the time, because Luke Harper is thrown out of the passenger seat, and then he gets right in front of, because he's all kind of out of there, he's not all with it, I guess I should say. Here comes Dean Ambrose, gets on top of the vehicle, jumps onto him and to Harper and New Day, and New Day should have left when they had a chance. So they continue the match. They're throwing like every chair in the ring, and also using the chairs for more than just hitting each other. They're power bombing and suplexing themselves on the chairs, and in the end, I was actually right with this one. Dean Ambrose did win, so at the current moment, I am, I guess, 2-2, technically 2-1 if you don't count the pre-show match. But hey, not bad. Next match, if I remember right, I have to go back to my phone because I'm kind of all, kind of forgetting. Okay, the next match was the Russian Chain match versus John Cena defending the U.S. title against Rusev, which I thought would be later in the night, but oh well, I guess maybe it was better this way. It was a decent match, and I figured John Cena was going to win, even though there were times it looked like Rusev was about to win. Did I want Cena to win? No, but I figured, and, well, spoiler alert, later tonight after losing the match, he yells in, his native tongue to Lana. Lana goes talk to the authorities, so we're going to have a rematch at Payback, an I Quit match, between John Cena and Rusev, which could be probably the end of the rivalry. I thought it was going to end at Extreme Rules, so it's not over yet, but I can't see John Cena say I quit, so I don't know. We'll see what happens there at Payback next month. Okay, so after that, we had the Divas Championship match. Naomi versus, Nikki Bella. It was an okay match. Now, I was a little distracted looking at those shoes that um, Naomi was wearing. Me and my friends first thought that maybe her shoes were just green. They were light up. Well, we were right. They were light up shoes because one of the shoes turned yellow, turned purple, turned blue. The other one stayed green. Now, I had predicted that Naomi was going to win. Well, I was wrong, and that's okay. I kind of, in a way, figured she wasn't going to win, but, and that's fine. I don't really care too much. It sucks that Paige was taken out of action. Thanks, Naomi, which, by the way, Naomi had a new entrance, so I guess she's fully embracing her heel attitude, so, why not? So, I guess, to sum it up at the moment, I am currently not doing too well on my predictions. I have, 3 wrong. Technically, I'd be 2-2, right? If you don't count the pre-show match, but at this point, I wasn't doing too well. Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, so, no, wait, I'd be 3-2, that's right. Well, technically, it'd be 3-3, but, see, right now I'm kind of confused. I'm kind of still getting over the withdrawal of this pay-per-view, because it was like, it was just something else. So, the next match was, the Last Man Standing match, Big Show versus Roman Reigns, and it was pretty decent. Tables came to play a few times. Big Show choke slam Roman Reigns through 2 tables. Big Show tried to spear Roman Reigns through a table and ended up missing, and he broke the table. So, of course, the announced tables came to play. Big Show wanted to choke slam, Roman Reigns out the one of the announced tables, ended up missing. I believe, I can't remember. And then Roman Reigns knocked one of the tables onto Big Show, and well, like I said, there was parts of the match I wasn't paying attention to because I was actually on Twitter and stuff, so if I got anything wrong, I apologize, but other than that, the match was pretty decent, and of course, after Big Show had the table knocked onto him, Big Show didn't get up, Roman Reigns stood on the table, and he was declared the victor, and I did get this match right. So I'm 4-2 on my actual predictions, 4-3 if you do count the pre-show match, but hey, at least I'm doing better at this point. And I guess to fill time, they decided to have Bo Dallas come out and berate the crowd. He called fans of Chicago, disrespectful, said that none of them showered. And honestly, the typical fan would probably think, hey, maybe CM Punk's come back in Chicago. Well, yeah, that's not going to happen. Instead, they have Ryback come out. Ryback, he and Bo Dallas, they fight. And though Bo Dallas tries to get the upper hand, but in the end, Ryback, Ryback squashes Bo Dallas, and it wasn't a match, so this don't count. And it doesn't count on my predictions anyway, so whatever. And I figured they were going to fill some time. They talked about Tough Enough for a while. That was talked about in the pre-show and then again before the main event. So, of course, we get to the main event. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins in a steel cage. Kane's the gatekeeper. Orton can't use the RKO. Pretty good match, and, Kane was a factor. He even held the door open as, Rollins tried to escape. Of course, Orton stops him. Kane then shuts the door on Orton. And then later, Seth Rollins tries to attack Orton and ends up kicking the cage door, and Kane's knocked out over to the barricade. Kane gets pissed and slams the door on both Orton and Rollins. And then he gets in the match, and, well, he keeps teasing that he's going to beat up Rollins. Ends up chokeslamming Orton, but he still ends up chokeslamming Rollins anyway, so which I think we all kind of figured, having his little heat with Rollins as of late. But he does what's best for business and rolls Seth Rollins onto Orton, only for Orton to kick out. Now, here is where it gets confusing. After all of them get up, Randy Orton, who was not supposed to use the RKO, RKO's Kane. But they never said he couldn't use it on Kane. Now here's where it gets more confusing. Seth Rollins does the RKO on Randy Orton. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, because he had to improvise, Randy Orton did the pedigree originally earlier in the match, which I'm pretty sure that made Triple H mad. We'll see what happens on Raw Monday night if Triple H will mention that, but like I said, since Seth Rollins can do his curb stomp, his move was banned anyway, permanently. And this had the commentators confused, like, the RKO was banned, why did Seth Rollins use it? And the referee didn't do anything. They didn't say that Seth Rollins could use the RKO. I mean, I guess even though they said the RKO was banned, they maybe thought Randy Orton couldn't use it. I guess, and though he used it on Kane, but Kane wasn't a part of the match. So, and I did predict Seth Rollins was gonna win, and I was right. So I got most predictions right. You know, even though, like I said, one of them technically doesn't count, but I'll take it as a loss anyway because because the guy who I predicted didn't win. Bad news bear. But other than that, it was a decent pay-per-view. I'll rate it maybe we'll say an 8.5 out of 10. It wasn't too bad. It was pretty enjoyable. Could have been a little better. And like I said, I think myself, my friends, we were kind of confused. Like, what the heck? Why did Rollins use the RKO? But once again, we'll see what happens on Raw, and I guess only time will tell what's gonna happen with Daniel Bryan and the Intercontinental Championship, and just everything else that's gonna happen. So that's it for my review video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to let me know what you thought about the pay-per-view. And as always, stay tuned for more videos. As always, I'm Revolutionary Cowboy. Rock on and keep collecting.